There are plenty of great reasons to learn about psychology, even if you don't plan to work in a psychology-related profession. Reason number 1, we study psychology to improve the way we feel. Psychological research shows that physical activity changes the way we feel. Exercising lowers the body's levels of cortisol, a hormone associated with stress. Aerobic exercise causes the pituitary gland to release endorphins. These endorphins are powerful mood-boosting chemicals. Psychologists are interested in studying how behavior changes mood. Researchers found that when you activate your smile muscles while biting a pencil, you will experience a positive mood shift. Conversely, when you position the pencil between your lips, your smile is turned downward and your mood becomes gloomy. Brain research is important in understanding emotions. We know that the amygdala, which is located in the temporal lobe, is responsible for emotional regulation. It examines outside stimuli and determines our emotional response. When the amygdala is impaired, it affects mood regulation. Practitioners use this research to treat patients with a traumatic brain injury who suffer from changes in personality and emotional control. Reason number 2, we study psychology to understand the science of addiction. Addiction is a chronic disease that changes both brain structure and function. Psychologists study how neurotransmitters, feel-good chemicals, lead to addictive behavior. The brain releases dopamine when we do enjoyable activities. Dopamine makes us want to keep doing the same things we enjoy repeatedly, which leads to compulsive behavior and addiction. Reason number 3, we study psychology to understand the factors that make us happy, satisfied, and successful. Psychologists use questionnaires and interviews to study people's attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions. The information collected from the surveys is turned into quantifiable, empirical data. One study found that people are happier and more satisfied when they spend money on experiences and outings. The people who spend more money on possessions and less money on experiences were not as satisfied or happy. Psychological research helps us understand what factors lead to a more satisfied and fulfilling life. Reason number 4, we study psychology to master critical thinking skills. We are bombarded with information, some of which is false. When we study psychology, we develop a scientific attitude. We learn to ask questions and think critically. We begin to think skeptically about the information we receive. Reason number 5, psychologists study memory to learn how information gets stored and maintained and how we retrieve information from our memory. We have learned from psychological research that memory is unstable, and we sometimes remember things that are inaccurate. A group of friends recalls a car accident that happened 10 years ago. One friend recalls that the accident happened at a stoplight, and the other friend recalls that the accident occurred at a stop sign. Memories about specific details are often unreliable and susceptible to influence and change. This research impacts the legal system, which relies heavily on the use of eyewitness testimony. Reason number 6, we study psychology to become better at learning. Educators use psychological theories to develop curriculum and testing. Psychological theorists are interested in studying how we retain information. According to psychological research, learners retain 3 to 8 facts in their short-term memory bank. Reason number 7, psychology helps us recognize milestones of healthy development. Piaget's stages of development theory has shaped our understanding of how people develop throughout life. Health professionals use theories of stage development to evaluate developmental milestones in infancy and early childhood. Practitioners use early intervention to help children who are at risk for behavioral issues, mood dysfunction, attention deficit, and communication delay. The ability to become a well-adjusted adolescent is dependent on many factors, including culture and environment, as well as our personality traits. Practitioners apply strategies from what they learn in psychological research to help people who face crises in their development. Reason number 8, we study psychology to recognize the signs of mental illness. The symptoms of severe, chronic forms of mental illness, such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and depression, generally appear before the age of 24. We need to understand the genetic and physiological factors of mental illness and how mental illness is treated.